If you ever want to know what rock bottom looks like, try standing in a kitchen the size of a closet at 6 a.m., clutching a chipped mug from your dead-end job and listening to your 9-year-old son tell you his shoes don't fit again. I was a widower by 32, a single dad juggling late rent and discount apple juice, scraping by on double shifts at Joe's Diner, while the world, including my own in-laws, seemed to take bets on how fast I'd finally fall through the cracks. But when that battered envelope arrived, thick legal paper, heavy typeface, the work saying my grandfather's broken-down farmhouse and 15 acres now belonged to me, everybody had an opinion. Most of them, "Cut your losses, Evan. It's junk." My in-laws, Dolores and Carlos. It's time to let Miguel come live with us, where he can eat real food and have a shot at college. Even the kids at Miguel's school heard the adults scorn calling it the junk farm. But you know what? That so-called junk farm was the first thing in years that felt like a way out, not a trap. I saw past the sagging porch and weeds, saw what my son could have, space roots, maybe hope. Yeah, I know how that sounds. But when you've lost as much as I have, you get real good at noticing even a glimmer of hope. That hope wasn't cheap. The place was falling apart. Patched roof, busted pipes, taxes past due, and foreclosure letters piling up faster than I could open them. But my grandfather, Antonio Reyes, wasn't the type to leave burdens. Maria, my late wife, always said he was a dreamer. Maybe that's why, as Miguel and I first walked those creaking floors, I couldn't shake the feeling there was something left for us besides headaches. "Are we really going to live here?" Miguel asked me, his hands tracing the battered banister, eyes wide. "Could we make it nice?" I looked at him, his mother's eyes, my stubborn jaw. "We could try, kid. We could really try." We moved in that October with little more than a couple of boxes, my grandfather's old toolbox, and more duct tape than I care to admit. The first rainstorm, the roof leaked so bad we had to sleep downstairs, buckets everywhere, thunder rattling those old bones of the house. Miguel called it an adventure. I called it terrifying. Every fix cost money I didn't have. Every bill meant another dinner of canned soup. Every night I lay awake, fighting off the voice that said I'd never dig us out of this hole. And just as the pressure started to feel too much, just when Dolores called hinting they might go to court for custody, everything changed. All because of a busted ceiling tile and a 9-year-old with a flashlight. "Dad, there's something back here," he shouted from his bedroom, crouched by the wall where rainwater had loosened a panel. Behind it, bundles of papers, blueprints, and old journals wrapped in oilcloth and string, preserved like somebody knew they'd matter. I nearly tossed them aside, figured they were sentimental junk. But then I started reading. Page after page, my grandfather's handwriting diagrams and calculations for things I barely understood. Perpetual energy conversion system. Letters from MIT, offers from General Electric, technical drawings for machines that, if they worked, could make electricity out of thin air. I mean, literally harnessing ambient electromagnetic energy. The stuff that powers radios, powers the very air around us. The more I read, the more real it became. There was a letter from the 70s. GE wanted to buy his patents for $200,000. Back then, that was serious money. But he turned them down, afraid the big guys would just bury it. "My inventions are meant to help families, not fill corporate pockets," he wrote. Turns out he hid the plans because he knew powerful people would steal them if they could. You want a twist? My grandfather did. Patent those inventions under a shell. Company sold them for $2 million to a company, Progressive Energy, that just happened to be owned by my late wife's family. The same Martinez Holdings who'd spent decades acting like I was an embarrassment, who'd tried to buy me out for a fraction of what the land was worth. I was sitting on blueprints and legal claims worth a fortune, and they knew it the whole time. They'd hidden it, licensed the technology to energy companies, made $120 million off what they called junk, and all while we scraped by. So what do you do when you realize your biggest enemies are your own blood, and that every threat of foreclosure, every visit from child services was their way of pushing you off land that could change the world? You fight back. Enter Sarah Chen Miguel, school librarian. Turns out she's got a brother, David, a sharp patent attorney with a soft spot for underdogs and a deep hatred for corporate bullies. David read through the patent files, corporate memos, licensing agreements, uncovered the reversion clause that Martinez thought everyone had forgotten. If they didn't develop the tech within 25 years, everything reverted to us. That deadline had passed 2 decades ago. Every dollar Martinez made since then owed to us. Martinez Holdings tried to squeeze us out. They sent developers, raised their offer to $250,000, then pulled legal strings, county inspectors, CPS threats, anything to force us off. I'll never forget that day, 6 men in suits, 2 from the county, all acting concerned about Miguel's living conditions. But David stood his ground, documented everything, and filed suit in federal court the very next day. Patent theft, breach of contract, restitution. Yeah, that happened. Court was a circus. Martinez's lawyer stalled, tried to bury us in paperwork, but David and Sarah kept pushing. Judge Morrison, federal bench, tough as nails. The evidence was too strong. Internal memos revealed Martinez Holdings had intentionally buried Antonio's inventions to protect their own interests, while secretly raking in licensing money for decades. In the end, Martinez had to testify. When pressed under oath in front of the world, he admitted they'd never built a single machine, never tried to fulfill Antonio's vision. Judge Morrison's ruling was scathing. Martinez Holdings must pay $127 million hand over all patents and cease all licensing immediately. She called it willful theft of American innovation. That's a line I'll remember forever. The aftermath was wild. Media everywhere, CNN Today Show. Even a movie producer called. Sarah helped manage the chaos, keeping the vultures at bay, making sure Miguel could just be a kid for a little while longer. And you know what? With that money, we didn't just rebuild the farmhouse. We turned it into a model for energy independence. Solar on the roof. Antonio's invention humming in the workshop, real families getting free power for the first time in their lives. First 200 orders went to folks like us, single parents, elderly couples, people tired of getting squeezed by power companies. And when the Smithsonian called asking to display Antonio's original machine in their exhibit on American innovation, I realized we'd done it. We'd honored the man who started it all. It wasn't about the money, not really. It was about proving that some things are worth fighting for, even when the odds are stacked against you. That courage, hope, and a stubborn refusal to quit can beat the system one nail, one blueprint, one court battle at a time. And now every night, as Miguel and I sit by the fire with our mugs of hot chocolate, I see the treehouse in the old oak, the lights burning bright from energy we made ourselves, and I know we did right by Maria, by Antonio, by every family who's ever been told give up. It's impossible. Yeah, maybe tomorrow brings new fights, new challenges. But after all we've been through, I'm pretty sure we're ready for anything. So tell me, if this was your family, would you have fought back, or would you have taken the easy money and walked away? I want to hear where you stand. Let's talk about what's fair, what's right, and what we owe to the people who come after us. Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't just ours anymore, it's everyone's fight now.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình là mình.
Você falou negócio sério. It is cold, yeah. Next one? Alright. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to. Yeah.
Yeah, use the fence.